Or welcome to another challenge lab for AZ900. This time we're configuring virtual network service endpoints. And the idea here is basically to be able to find a key or a secret in a key vault only from a specific virtual network. So let's first go and take a look at our key vault. We should have one here, one key vault. And then under objects, we're going to take secrets. We're going to create one. We're going to name it challenge secret. And this secret value, we're going to have a very secret value. And then everything else can be default. So that's created. Let's jump over to Cloud Shell here. We can use bash, and we don't need a storage account. And then we can verify that our secret is accessible using this command. Az key vault secret show, and then we give the vault name and the name of the secret. And then we get back the value as well as other information. This was the actual secret here. Okay, so it seems to be working. So what we should do next is make sure that we only have access from a specific VNet. And we should have a VNet here. Yeah. Put this away. And we can check under settings where something like service endpoints currently exist. And you can see that there is a service endpoint for the backend subnet for Key Vault, and it is actually working. So its status is succeeded. Now, another thing that we can do here is take a look at our network security group for our web app. And then make sure that we can access Key Vault from this security group. Right, currently, we don't have any outbound access unless internal to our virtual network. So let's create that. So outbound security rule, and now the source of the traffic should be from our VNet, right? And we can't choose that here, so we need to choose a service tag. And then under service tags, we can then choose different kind of things. And what we're going to choose here is the VNet. Okay. So basically, that means that any private IP address. Then the destination should be Key Vault. So again, we can't select Key Vault here, but if we choose a service tag, then we can see that there are lots of services down here. So we can search for Key Vault, and we could, take a specific region for Key Vault, but we're happy with just any Key Vault over here, and we're happy with just any destination port as well. Let's make this top priority 100 and say we want to allow Key Vault. All right, so that security or outgoing rule has been created. So now let's go and close stuff down over on the Key Vault side. So if you go back to our Key Vault here, Then settings, networking. You can see that we can define where this particular service or this particular key vault should be accessible from. And the same kind of functionality is available in a lot of different services on Azure. And it's very handy, right? So currently it allows public access from all networks. What we want to do is, instead of that, allow public access from specific virtual networks and IP addresses only, right? And what we want to add here is a existing virtual network, and of course our VNet network. Then we also need to select the subnet, and the subnet we want to have is the backend subnet. Note that because we already have a service endpoint in the backend subnet, it doesn't complain about service endpoint being needed, right? So if we would want to add access to the front end, then we would need to first enable a service endpoint in that subnet. Because our backend subnet already had one, that's going to be okay. All right, so let's add. So now we have our VNet in there. Cool. Let's apply. That's done. And now let's go back to our Cloud Shell and let's try to access our secret again. Now it's no longer available, right? Because we're not connecting from our backend subnet. Rather, this Cloud Shell has a public IP address, right? So next up, let's go into a VM that is in our subnet. And then let's create an SSH connection. Maybe let's do this down here. Make this a bit bigger. Then SSH Azure admin at our IP address. Yes. Oh, password. It's this one. Cool. So now we're inside VM2. This does not have the ACCLI pre-installed, so let's install that. All right, that's done. So next up, we need to run az login, so it has our identity. Let's go to this URL and then put in the code. All right, that should be done. There we go. And then let's again use the same az key vault command, but now because we're coming from the backend subnet, this should work, and it does. So that's an example of how to use virtual network service endpoints with Key Vault. I hope you enjoyed this short demo and you learned something new. I'm going to see you in the next one. Till then.